everyone. Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing good. It is Monday, March 24th. I can't believe it is almost April. I hope you guys got me something good for my birthday. April 10th coming up. We'll celebrate the Bullishbrs way. Maybe we'll do like a game night or something if you guys are interested. Let's see. So let's delete some old zones on gold here. These are no longer valid. We don't need them anymore. They were broken. Broken. I don't have sound on the prep stream. Should be all right. Should be all right on YouTube or on. Nope, YouTube should be working. So YouTube, you guys let me know if you could hear me all right. Marcus, might be on your side, right? You guys can hear me all right? Looks like it's picking up okay. All right, let's break down some gold real quick while we try to figure out the audio issue. Previous day high is going to be over here. First, let's move that open price right here. Previous day high and previous day low. Now, want to be a little careful with gold because gold's a bit of a tougher read because right now the past 2 days have been telling me we're pulling back on gold, right? We had a red day here after taking out new all-time high, a strong red day here. But we have to remember we were just at all-time highs literally a few days ago. So because we were at those all-time highs, it does make it a little harder to take shorts here. But the past few days have been a bit more bearish. Checking gold on Bookmap right now to see if I have any price levels, and it does look like there are targets to the upside, 30.39, maybe even 30.40. And that's about just 8 points away from where we are right now. So let's pull up the 15-minute time frame, see if we have anything. I do have, this is a demand zone that formed. This was the low of Friday. So I would love to see if we could come retest that low and push higher and see if that sort of sets the trend for the week. Do we want to trend back bullish on gold for a while? Then I would like to see if we could sort of come back to this range, hold previous day low, and push back higher. Odon, what's going on, my man? I see you are here, so let's cover our buddy Odon from the Bullish Bears community YouTube. In case you guys were wondering, the Futures Masterclass is now available for next level members of Bullish Bears. So let's see. Odon said we went over some yesterday. He was asking for a bit of a recap of his breakdown. Right over here. It was really good stuff, man. I love it. Gave me, this is the one for 323. So ES ranging. So let's break down ES. Let me break down ES first, and then we'll sort of see how that all lines up. So first, let me hide this for just 1 second. Let's see if we could visibility. Turn it off for hours, days, weeks, and months. That way it only shows for minutes. And we'll do like do 15-minute time frame and lower. Okay, great. So now daily time frame, if we're looking at ES, we see that we broke previous day high. We had a gap higher. We even broke this recent range we had. So if you have trouble finding ranges or any issues in the market, what we could do is we could use our parallel channel and sort of just mark out the highs, hold that shift button so it straightens out, bring it down towards those lows, and now we see we have our range. So something I might look for is the strong break above, which we had our gap and go, and see if we want to retest somewhere within this range to find some long positions. We could check the stats. What are the odds that we do close green today on a Monday after taking out Friday's high? You taking NQ short? Crude short? Very good. Let's see. Cool. Previous day's range on ES. When we break so let's do a daily session. And we see when we break previous day high, we have a 71% chance of closing green. But by weekday, 73% chance of closing green when we break that previous day high, the Friday's previous day high. So 73% chance. That's bullish. I'm staying bullish for today. Now, something I see pre-market, I see while we're zoomed in here on a 30-minute time frame, we have our basing candle, we have our rally, and we have our continuation. So now I have a 30-minute demand zone that I might be keeping an eye on. Now that doesn't mean as soon as market opens, if we push into it, I'm going long right away. Because don't forget my earlier analysis with the volume analysis was if we're able to break this lower and push lower, we have a lot of low volume shelves over here, we might break our way back down towards our gap fill, but that's only if we're able to break lower. Really want to see because look at the volume does start to pick up here 22,000, 13,000. Then it sort of falls off till down here around this 2753.25. So let's do some more time frame analysis, see if we missed anything down in this area. Maybe there's an hourly demand zone we missed or a 2 hour. 90-minute, 3 hour. I'm really not seeing anything too out there. Let's mark that 3 hour for a minute and then go back to our yep, so that goes right where that volume shelf is. So that's good to know. That's a good point of interest to be aware of. Now I want to check out this yellow zone, see what this yellow zone is and where did it come from. Okay, well this looks like it was an old demand zone that flipped into supply, that worked as supply a few times, and now we're back above it and we're holding as support. So I'm not going to really use this zone, but I do want to be aware of it. So I know that if we're above it, I'm going to be keep looking for longs up here, right? Now let's check our 15-minute time frame to our regular trading hours and mark out that gap fill. So here's our gap. Here's our 345 candle close. There's our gap fill price. Now let's bring back our extended trading hours or electronics trading hours. And again, there's this big gap in volume right here. So like if we sell off, market opens, we sell off like a hotcake and we drop. It's only 50 points. 50 points is a lot on the ES, but lately we've been getting some crazy momentum. So wouldn't be that surprised at 50 points. We just had a 50-point move Friday. We just had we had a 70-point move on Thursday. We had, what's this, another 70-point move, 80-point move the day before that, 40, 50-point move. So we have volatility, right? Volatility is here, ADR, ATR, these things are all advancing. They're moving higher. We're getting more momentum and volatility in ranges. So how do we trade that? Well, we could trade it marking out supply and demand, support and resistance, liquidity levels, and just waiting for the reactions at these levels. So what I want to see is this 15-minute supply zone right here, because this worked out pretty well as a short entry here, a short entry here, short entry here, short entry here. So this is a major zone right here, this red one. So I really want to see us come into it today. Let's see. I'm going to put a green border around it. Let's see. Or like an orange border around it. So again, if we could sell off, market opens, we start to sell off. We have our gap fill price down here, and we have our broken supply zone down here. Now that's the top of that recent range. So if we could pull back, this would be another great area for longs, but look at how far up we are right now. So that makes me also want to wonder, do we have any other supply zones we're coming into up here that I may have missed and not marked out? So right now I'm looking at this area and this area right over here. 3 hour, not seeing much. And I remember the last time we were up in this range, and I remember not seeing anything up here. So like the 4 hour time frame, we have our basing, and then we have a sell-off, but this sell-off is a failure sell-off, right? Because this could have been a big red candle, but we wicked right back higher. So this is not a proper supply zone. Now I wanted to cover our homie Odin. Apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. So ES is ranging on the daily between 56.51 and 56.65. Let's pull up ES. Yep, good range, perfect, beautiful. Yep. What do you got? 51 to 65. I have about 49 to 71. So again, same area, same range ish. Keep finding that same area. Demand has been holding since 331, 313. That's this day right here. Yep, perfect. We're holding this range. Beautiful. We currently seem to have some strong resistance on 3.7. So let's check out 3.7. Right here. Yep, so that's, right, because that's our last green candle before this pullback right here. So we could, if we wanted to mark this out. Now, I wouldn't mark this out as a supply zone because, it doesn't have the longer wick to the upside, and it also wasn't at a major high. Now, we can mark it out as an area of interest, and it is important to mark it out anyways, because we don't really have any other price levels going to the upside. So if we do fail to sell off when market opens, there's a better chance that we just rally and head towards that 58.20. Right. 37 MSL? What do you mean MSL? Micro side liquidity? Or maybe you meant BSL, buy side liquidity? Oh, 1 hour sell side order block 57.50. 57.50. Oh, 1 hour, 1 hour. Let's see. Yeah, yeah, do puff drive Mercedes. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's see. 57.50, 1 hour. I don't have a date on it, so I'm gonna have to just find it. 57.50. Yeah, it was like right up here. Hmm. So the 57.50, I probably would have had like 57.70 up here instead of 57.50. Have like 57.70 because we want those major highs. If that fails, we'll look for new demand. Cool, man. Cool. Wait, near 57. Oh, I see what you're saying. A break above. I will look for a reaction. Like if we broke above 57.50, come back, retest. There we go. Now we're talking. Beautiful. Yeah, hold on, man. I really like that breakdown. I really like that breakdown. Guys, don't forget, Futures Masterclass is available for next level members. Yeah, easy. Marcus, it's definitely easier if the PC is not muted. Right, let's see. So that's ES. It's sort of what we're looking for on ES today. If we come down to where this is 57.70, that would be great to hold for longs. Let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ, because NASDAQ market structure along with ES will help give us a strong idea and bias. YouTube guys, make sure you spam that like button, hit subscribe. If you're on Twitter, hit that repost. Make sure you go live with us every day. All right, let's see. So we'll start with the daily on NAS again. Now, something I really like on the NASDAQ is that we had this range, right? We started making lower highs, lower lows. We broke the high of the range for a manipulation, and then we had our distribution lower. Now, at this point, this could be our next fake out right here, because guess what? When we had the sell off, and we came towards about this price level, we were hitting that 10% pullback, and that brings us into correction territory. And whenever we end up in a correction territory, some type of huge drop like this, what happens, guys? Other than market reaction, we get a lot of news reaction. We get a lot of retail traders selling. We get a lot of institution traders trying to force the thought that this is a bear market. Everybody should be selling. Sell, don't buy. Meanwhile, hindsight always being 2020. Let's jump in front of hindsight. When's the best time to buy? When others are selling. When's the best time to sell? When others are buying. It wouldn't be smart to short this big downtrend down here. It'd be smart to short it up here while we're failing over here, while we're failing over here. Not at the lows. Be smarter to buy the lows, sell the highs. Now the question would be, does NASDAQ have any resistance up here that we're going to then again create a lower high off of? Right now, we had a strong momentum, a strong break. I would like to see us continue. So I'm going to mark out previous day high. Here's our gap. Here's our open prices right here. This is no longer our gap and open. This is just straight up an open price. Get rid of our old orb from yesterday. And now we can break it down some lower time. Excuse me, lower time frames. Okay, check this out. Check this out. First off, let's delete this, delete this, delete this. This 1 hour demand works really well. I noticed, guys, with the NASDAQ, the hourly demands and higher work a lot better than like the 15-minute and 30 minutes. Just if you guys want us to take note. This yellow level, same situation as ES, right? This yellow zone was an area that worked as a demand zone. Then we flipped it and it worked as a supply zone. So this is going to be my support or resistance range, right near that 20,000 key psychological level too. So let's mark out now. Also, while I was here, I saw that we have a 4-hour demand zone right here. So we have our basing candle. I'm going to turn off our drawings for a second. Basing candle, rally, continuation. Now, this gap in continuation is okay. I usually wouldn't mark it out if it was the basing candle and then a gap. Because when we have our basing candle, then a gap and go, it doesn't really give us proper information, because when we get a gap like this is a gap because the market closed Friday, then opened again Sunday evening. Okay, let's see. So let's mark out that 4-hour demand zone right here. There's a big demand zone, guys, a fat demand zone. Definitely not going to be taking longs as soon as we enter it. But again, marking out supply and demand, it helps give us an idea of market structure. Have we been creating supply zones? Have we been creating demand zones? What's the market structure like? Have we been breaking supply or demand zones? What have we been seeing? So let's break it back down 3-hour, 2-hour. Now I also want to look back over here again, see if I'm missing anything. This purple level, not sure. We're going to delete it. This other purple level, also going to delete it, delete it, delete it. Now I am, however, going to mark this major pivot right here. Look at this high. This is a major pivot. We're going to mark it as a, let's make it orange. I'm just going to call it key level, KL. And it's going to go in the center. Nope, I always do that. I always get those two mixed up. There we go. Make it like black so we could see it. Okay, because again, if we continue higher today without any supply above us, we could then have targets to the upside. Now, I'm also going to be aware of what are equities doing. Let's take a quick look at equities right now pre-market, guys. Equities pre-market have been gapping higher. Check this out. We are above previous day high. This is Meta, left, Microsoft, middle, Apple on the right, NVIDIA in the middle, bottom, Tesla in the bottom left, and AVGO bottom right. Now, these green levels we see show previous day's high and low. Now, Meta, we're gapped above previous day high by almost, wow, what is that? Like $13, 2%? Microsoft, same thing, guys. Gapped up on Microsoft. Apple, same thing. Gapped up above previous day's high. These are all bullish sentiments and factors. Yo, good morning, Jim. What's going on, my man? Good morning and hello. But super, super important, guys. If equities remain strong and bullish and above their previous day highs, I will be looking for longs on the NASDAQ. It's that simple when it comes to trading NQ with me. I want to look for full-on direction of equities, of tech stocks, of ES, the VIX, everything. Everything just has to be smooth and confirmed. If we're getting any type of inconsistencies, that's when we start to second guess and have more trouble with our trades. Now, NASDAQ is a little bit harder. Like I mentioned earlier, the 30-minute demand zones haven't been as strong on NQ, but it's important to still mark them out. These are still areas where we based before we either continued higher or reversed. If we do fail this zone, same situation. If we fail this 20,200, we might make our way down to that 20,050, 20,000 even key psychological level. So this is what we're looking for on NASDAQ. We already covered the ES, S&P 500. Let's take a quick look at crude. Now, crude, I do believe, has been in a bit more of a bull trend. So check it out. Crude's been chopping its way out of this. This is a daily demand zone. We see crude oil was in a very strong bear trend since this is January 16th. Now, before January 16th, it was in a very strong bull trend. So the question sort of remains, does crude want to start to hold this demand zone, which it already has, and we see in the past this was a very strong area of interest, and continue its way back higher? We're at this point, we're taking out the lower highs that we're creating. So we're trying our best to make some higher highs, and we are also trying to make some higher lows too. Let's call this is a higher low. We have another higher low. So because we have these higher lows, I'm going to probably be looking for some bulls on oil, but we are going to be careful. Our open price for today is right here. Lower high again. We took that recent pivot out already today. Let's check our 4-hour time frame and see that we do have a little bit of a basing. Now, I like this basing demand zone right here on the 4-hour on crude, and it already worked once here. And it was the reason I like it is because it formed off of this broken supply zone. So if we bring it down to the 30-minute time frame, we had this 30-minute supply zone. We used it as supply, and then that day we broke it. Once we break it, I look for it to hold as support, and look at what happened the next day. It ticked right into it, missed my demand entry by 4 cents, and then we continued, we rallied up higher. So if we could maybe come back to this 4-hour demand zone for a possible long entry, that would be pretty ideal. T4 hour. Now, something I also have would be this is a 30-minute supply zone right here. Now, let me delete this zone and this zone right here. Previous day high. Is that the right previous day high? It is. Oh, nope, it's not. Previous day high is right here. Glad I checked. Now, we could also check the gap fill when it comes to crude oil. It's not a typical strategy when it comes to crude oil and gold, but it's still something we could statistically check. So let's see. Our gap fill price is going to be 345 close, and we're going to call this our gap. And if we open up our electronic trading hours, we are above the gap fill. So what I would like to see on crude oil is I would sort of rather see us open below the gap price so we could find some long positions inside demand. Now we could also, let's see. I'm going to put up our volume profile right here, and we can see where the most volume was traded. And we see how high and how big this range is. Look at this. This is great. This is really, really a healthy chart, healthy range. So if we could get some long positions at the bottom of our range, target the highs, again, that would be huge. That would be ideal. I'm going to add my alert on oil, add another alert on oil. I also want to do some quick time frame analysis one more time too to make sure I'm not missing any demand zones like this 15-minute demand zone right here. Market opens in 32 minutes, guys. YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Join us live. Pre-market preps are going to soon be turned off to the public, only available to our members. So make sure you join bullishbrs.com while the sale is still running. Let's see. So this is a broken supply zone, so usually I would look for this to work as support, which it's starting to. But remember, guys, just because it's starting to look like we're holding a zone doesn't mean you have to take that long right now. Find some confirmation, use some volume analysis, do whatever you have to do to find the confirmation that that is a proper trade to take. But right now, look at this. Crude oil, red CVD, big sellers, lots of negative delta. There is no reason to go long here just yet. We could take a look at crude and see 68 even is a strong level, and that's right above my demand zone. So that's pretty key. I would like to see crude oil sell off to this demand for a possible long entry. What I would now, guys, something I also do when I'm anticipating a trade entry like this, where I'm looking for a demand entry, a 15-minute, a 4-hour, what I'll do if we're selling off towards it is I'll also look for my time frame analysis up here to make sure we're not creating a supply zone working our way lower. Because if we created a basing supply zone up here and started pushing lower, then that has a bit more strength than these older zones. So let's check the hourlies, check the 2-hour, 3-hour. Good. I don't see anything that might be suggesting that we're full-blown reversing at this point. We are still pulling back. This still isn't the right time to buy, but we do have a little time. Let's add some alerts. Let's just be prepared. Now let's take a look at gold. Gold's, again, like I said, a bit of a harder read. Probably not going to trade gold today. What indicator is this? The one you use for volume on the right. Good question. So the one you see right here, guys, this is the anchored volume profile. This is an awesome tool on TradingView. So what you would do is you would come to the left-hand side over here, and it's under projection, so where you find your long and short positions, and you're gonna come over to volume-based. You can have anchored VWAP, fixed range volume profile, or anchored volume profile. If you do fixed range, it's just gonna mark out from where you click it to the start and to the end. So it's just gonna give us this fixed range. And look at this point of control lines up right in my demand zone down here. Again, this is a great way to use volume without needing something like Bookmap. Now, I like the anchored volume profile because I could sort of set it to, let's say, today's open was at 6 p.m. Eastern because it's futures. We're looking at the future sessions. I'm going to click it at 6 o'clock, and it's going to show me all the volume and the volume shelves that we were trading at. Now, usually we'll find reversals in these low volume nodes, so that's what I would like to see sort of line up. Sometimes, however, we'll see strong accumulation at the higher volume nodes, so it's important to be aware of both and see what's lining up with your zones and entries. Let's see if we could change the settings up a little bit on this. There we go. Now we'll make it a bit bigger than that because we do want to be able to see the fall off in between. Placement right, left. We'll do right because we want next to the volume, up volume, down volume. This is volume area high, volume area low. Where did this price level come from? Oh, I think that's part of, yeah, I was gonna say that's part of the tool. That is, I don't even know what that is. Point of control? Point of control. We'll make that yellow. Orange, yellow. We'll thin this one out a little bit so it's not too in our way. And we will save this as basic. If anybody wants to take a quick look at the settings here, row size 34, you could change. When you make this one lower, it'll just it'll increase the row. So you'd want to have more rows available. Look at that sell-off on crude here. Really going to be looking to see how we react to that 68 even down here. Look at that, running into this demand zone too. This demand zone, there's really no volume indication that we might pick up there. Crude oil, gold is also range bound. So we're probably, like I said, we're going to be watching the ES, NQ, and crude today. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Don't forget, guys, show some love on the social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, all that, X, whatever it's called now. Morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Time is it? It is 9:04, guys. YouTube, I'm going to wrap up the pre-market prep here. Discord, you guys could hang around. I'll be back in about 2 seconds. I'm just going to wrap up the pre-market prep on YouTube. But however, excuse me, YouTube guys, make sure you stick around for the next live stream because the next live stream we will be taking on the New York session open and trading some NASDAQ and ES. I'm looking to make some money today with you guys. Keep an eye on the VIX, the weighted index, everything. All right, YouTube, smash that like button. I'll see you guys